Hello, everyone. Wishing you all a wonderful day. Today, we're about to witness the emotional moment when Jack and Tu Tien believe their dream of building a loving family and peaceful farm has finally come true. But an unexpected phone call changes everything. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to subscribe so you never miss our upcoming videos. After the emotional conversation they had shared the previous night, both of them woke up earlier than usual. Neither of them needed to say much. The smiles on their faces already revealed what they had decided. Today was the first day they would officially begin preparing for a completely new chapter of their lives. Jack stepped outside with 2 cups of hot coffee, while Tu Tien stood quietly in the garden, admiring the rows of vegetables, fruit trees, and the pond filled with blooming water lilies. "This place feels different today," she said softly. Jack smiled. "Maybe because we're finally starting to see it as home." Tu Tien looked around once more before gently nodding. "For the first time, I can actually imagine spending the rest of my life here." Jack wrapped an arm around her shoulders. "So can I." The peaceful morning was filled only with birds singing and the happy sounds of their dogs running around the yard. It was the kind of quiet they had dreamed about during countless stressful days in the city. After breakfast, they immediately began making plans. Jack spread a notebook across the dining table. "Let's write everything down so we don't forget anything." Tu Tien laughed. "You've already turned this into a real project." Jack grinned. "Of course. If we're going to build our future here, we should do it properly." The notebook quickly filled with ideas. Repair the old roof, paint the walls, expand the vegetable garden, build a larger chicken coop, plant more fruit trees before the rainy season, set up a small greenhouse, create a better irrigation system, prepare a comfortable bedroom for Uncle Puong. Every new idea made both of them more excited. They weren't simply fixing an old farm, they were building the life they had always wanted. After organizing the list, the two of them began cleaning the farmhouse. Jack climbed onto a ladder to inspect the roof, while Tu Tien carefully sorted through old furniture that had been left untouched for years. Some chairs needed repairs. Several cabinets could still be reused after a fresh coat of paint. Nothing seemed impossible anymore. Even the oldest parts of the house suddenly looked full of potential. While sweeping the front porch, Tu Tien paused for a moment. "Do you remember when we first came here?" Jack looked over. "You mean the first time we almost gave up?" She laughed. "We thought this place was way too much work." Jack nodded. "And now we're talking about living here forever." Life really had a strange way of surprising people. As the morning passed, neighbors walking by stopped to greet them. Many were surprised to see both Jack and Tu Tien working so enthusiastically. "So, you're really moving here?" one elderly neighbor asked with a smile. Jack answered proudly. "Yes, this is going to be our home." The neighbor laughed warmly. "Good! This farm has been waiting for people who truly love it." Those simple words touched both of them more deeply than expected. Around noon, they sat beneath the shade of a large mango tree to rest. Tu Tien handed Jack a bottle of water. "You know, I used to think happiness meant earning more money." Jack listened quietly. "But lately, I've realized happiness can simply be eating lunch under a tree with someone you love." Jack smiled. "I was thinking exactly the same thing." He looked toward the vegetable garden. "We spent so many years chasing after stability. But somehow, we only found peace when we finally slowed down." Tu Tien leaned gently against his shoulder. "Do you think we're ready?" Jack answered without hesitation. "No," she laughed. I knew you'd say that, he continued. But I don't think anyone is ever completely ready. We just choose to move forward together. And that's enough. His words filled the silence with comfort. For the first time in a very long while, neither of them felt afraid of the future. They felt excited. That afternoon, Jack suggested making the most important phone call of the day. He picked up his phone and looked toward Tu Tien. "Should we call Uncle Puang now?" She nodded immediately. "I think he's been alone long enough." Jack dialed the number. After several rings, Uncle Puang answered. His familiar voice sounded gentle but tired. "Hello, Jack?" Jack smiled. "Uncle, are you busy?" "No. I was just fixing a broken chair." They exchanged a few casual words before Jack finally took a deep breath. "Uncle, we've been thinking about something." There was a brief silence. "What is it?" Jack looked at Tu Tien, who encouraged him with a small nod. "We've decided to move permanently to the farm." Uncle Puang sounded genuinely happy. "That's wonderful. I knew you two would make that decision someday." Jack smiled again. "But that's not all. We don't want you living alone anymore." There was complete silence on the other end of the phone. Jack continued gently. "We want you to come live with us. You'll have your own room. We'll take care of the farm together. We'll eat together every day. You'll never have to worry about being alone again." Uncle Puang didn't answer immediately. Jack and Tu Tien simply waited. Neither of them realized that this single invitation was about to awaken emotions Uncle Puang had buried for many years. Uncle Puang remained completely silent. Jack could hear only the faint sound of the wind through the phone. Several long seconds passed before an emotional voice finally broke the silence. "Jack, Tu Tien, you really want an old man like me to live with you?" Jack smiled gently. "Not because we feel sorry for you. Because you're family." The words struck Uncle Puang straight in the heart. For years he had lived alone. He had become used to eating meals by himself, fixing broken furniture by himself, watching the sun set by himself. He had long accepted that loneliness was simply part of growing old. Never once had he imagined hearing someone sincerely invite him into their home. His voice trembled. "I don't want to become a burden." Tu Tien stepped closer to the phone. "You could never be a burden. You've always been there whenever we needed advice. You helped us believe in ourselves when we almost gave up. Now it's our turn." Another long silence followed. Then Jack heard something unexpected. A quiet sniffle. Uncle Puang was crying. He quickly tried to hide it. "I'm sorry. I don't know why I'm getting emotional." Jack looked toward Tu Tien. Both of them were smiling through tears. "You don't have to apologize. We've been waiting to say this for a long time." Finally, Uncle Puang spoke softly. "If you truly mean it, I'll come." The moment those words were spoken, Tu Tien could no longer hold back her emotions. She quietly turned away and wiped tears from her eyes. Jack's own eyes became red. What seemed like a simple invitation had become something much greater. It wasn't just about moving into the farmhouse. It was about giving someone a family again. After ending the phone call, neither Jack nor Tu Tien spoke for several moments. The afternoon breeze gently rustled through the fruit trees. Everything felt peaceful. Everything felt right. Jack finally broke the silence. "We're not just building a farm anymore." Tu Tien nodded. "We're building a home." The rest of the afternoon passed with even more excitement. They measured the spare bedroom that would soon become Uncle Puang's room. Jack carefully inspected the windows. We should replace these. They don't keep the rain out very well. Tu Tien was already imagining how the room should look. A comfortable bed, a bookshelf, a small reading chair near the window, and maybe some flowers outside. Jack smiled. He'll pretend he doesn't care, but I know he'll secretly love it. Both of them laughed. The house suddenly seemed much livelier, even though Uncle Puang had not arrived yet. His presence was already becoming part of their future. As evening approached, they prepared a simple dinner using vegetables they had harvested that morning. Fresh tomatoes, lettuce, eggs from the chickens, herbs from the garden. Nothing expensive, yet somehow it tasted better than many meals they had eaten at expensive restaurants. While eating, Tu Tien looked around the small dining room. It feels strange. Jack looked up. What does? It already feels like there are 3 people living here. Jack laughed. I was thinking exactly the same thing. They spent the rest of the evening discussing future plans. Maybe one day they could welcome visitors to experience farm life. Maybe children from the city could come and learn how vegetables were grown. Maybe they could sell homemade products from the farm, fresh fruit, organic vegetables, natural honey. Everything they imagined seemed possible, not because success was guaranteed, but because they finally had a reason to keep moving forward. Later that night, after finishing their work, Jack opened his laptop to review their finances. He carefully calculated renovation costs, building materials, seeds, equipment, transportation. There would certainly be challenges ahead, but for the first time, those challenges didn't feel frightening. They felt meaningful. Across the room, Tu Tien quietly organized several old family photographs. She stopped at one picture showing the earliest days of their relationship. Back then, they owned almost nothing, just dreams, hope, and each other. She smiled. We've come a long way. Jack looked over from his computer. We still have a long way to go. She nodded. But this time, we're not walking alone. The farmhouse slowly became quiet. Outside, the dogs curled up near the porch. Crickets filled the warm summer night with their familiar songs. Everything seemed peaceful, almost too peaceful. Then suddenly, Jack's phone vibrated across the table. He glanced at the screen. The caller ID displayed an unfamiliar number. He hesitated for a moment before answering. Hello? His expression remained calm at first. Yes. This is Jack speaking. A few seconds later, the smile disappeared from his face. Tu Tien immediately noticed the change. She quietly watched him from across the room. Jack listened carefully without interrupting. His eyebrows slowly tightened. His breathing became heavier. What? He stood up. Can you repeat that? The person on the other end continued explaining. Every sentence seemed to make Jack more uneasy. The color gradually faded from his face. Several long moments passed. Finally, Jack spoke again. There must be some kind of mistake. Another pause. His grip around the phone tightened. I understand. I'll come tomorrow. He slowly lowered the phone. The room became completely silent. Tu Tien walked toward him. What happened? Jack stared blankly at the floor. He struggled to find the words. After what felt like forever, he finally whispered, How could this happen? Tu Tien's heart suddenly sank. She had never seen Jack look like this before. The excitement that had filled the farmhouse all day instantly disappeared. Outside, the wind quietly swept across the garden they had dreamed of building together. Moments earlier, everything had felt perfect. Now, an unexpected challenge had arrived without warning. Neither of them knew that this single phone call was about to change everything they had spent months preparing for. Jack and Tu Tien begin preparing to move permanently to their peaceful farm, excited to build a true home and a better future together. As they clean the farmhouse and plan renovations, they invite Uncle Puong to live with them. At first, he refuses, fearing he will become a burden. However, Jack reminds him that he once helped them, and now they want to repay his kindness. Deeply moved, Uncle Puong finally accepts, bringing everyone to tears. Their happiness feels complete until Jack receives a mysterious phone call. As he listens, his smile disappears, revealing that an unexpected crisis is about to begin.